evening from wherever you are watching me from. My name is Adeni Adekunle. You can also call me Bishop. I want to welcome you to my page, Bishop Speaks. Last week, in our first episode, we talked about the secret of poverty, and we are going to be continuing from that series today. The three things that we spoke about last episode was the don't of poverty. One, we said, don't spend what you have not earned. Two, we said, don't spend what you have not planned. Three, we said, don't underrate what you earn. And I left these three key points with us last week. And I capped it up with these quotes, and I'm going to say that today again. When you appreciate what you earn will appreciate. When you appreciate what you earn will appreciate. The day you start putting value on what is in your hand, then what is in your hand will appreciate. Today, I want to move further by explaining to us three major keys again that we need to know to get out of poverty quickly. And I'm going to be wrapping this up in the next episode, but can I start now? The first one is one, make sure that you don't have the spent finished syndrome. Spent finished syndrome. Spent finished syndrome. I've noticed that in our generation, everything we earn, we spend. You must understand that for you to get rich, you must learn to save out of what you earn. You are not entitled to even spend until you have saved. People used to say that it is not true because we have read in Big Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and how this savings culture is. How can you say I should save 30%? I am not saying save 30%. I am not saying save 20%. All I'm saying is you must make it as habit to always save from that which comes to your hand. Favor will bring the money, but savings will keep the increase. You must understand that it is important that you keep from that which you earn. Now, this is a secret, and I'm going to be sharing with you quickly. How can you do this? Two ways. One, you should have a savings target. Say, for instance, in the month of May, I want to save 10,000. If you plan to save 10,000, that is your target. Even before you start earning the money, you have made up your mind that I want to. You know your capacity. You know the most likely amount you are going to earn. But I want to save 10,000. When you have that at the back of your mind, every time the money comes in, you keep putting in stuff. Sometimes you can decide to save first before you spend. You can decide to spend, but make sure that you say your target, you will meet this one. I want to save. So you must have a monthly savings target or a yearly savings target. When you put that at the back of your mind and have a purpose for it, you will find out that you will find it easy to save. Number two thing is you should be able to mark your spendable money. You must have maybe for me, I have an account that is the only account that has a card. This account is where I have my spendable money. Every other account is not the money that I can just spend. You understand? So even if I need money in my spendable account, I look from how to get money from other savings account and put some in my spendable. So you must have a spendable amount and say, no, this is the money that I can spend. This is the one I cannot spend. When you put these things to work, you will find out that you can save easily. Now, I want to drop this with you quickly. It is not everything that you see that you deserve. There are some things that you like now, but you don't deserve it. Don't buy what you don't deserve. Because I like a ML does not mean I will go and buy it now. If I don't deserve it, I will not buy. It's not that I don't wish it, but sometimes you must learn to tell yourself the truth. It is not everything that you see that you deserve. Now, also, it is not everything that you deserve that you buy. You must understand that because you deserve it does not mean you should buy it. No, you deserve a bucket of ice cream today. Maybe you have overworked yourself. You deserve a bucket of ice cream, but that does not mean you should buy it. You must also know that it's not every time that you deserve a thing that you buy. Now, the second thing I want to talk to us about today quickly is you must get rid of comparison, strife, and bitterness. Or better still, let me start like this. Get rid of bitterness, strife, and comparison. I'm starting with bitterness because you must know that nothing good grows out of bitterness. Nothing good can grow in bitterness. You must understand that. You must also know that strife kills your capacity and relationship. Strife kills your capacity and relationship. Now, these are the tools of growth: capacity and relationship. So when you don't have good relationship and you don't have capacity to bet it, you cannot grow. And strife, this is what strife does. Strife does not necessarily have to affect your health, but it kills your capacity and your relationship. And nothing grows without relationship. A seed will have to relate with the ground or with the sand on the ground for it to grow. So you must understand that what strife does, that it kills your capacity and relationship. So you must get rid of bitterness, you must get rid of strife. And the third thing is you must get rid of comparison. You must know what comparison does. What comparison does is comparison sends you back to where you are coming from. For instance, if I'm owing 100,000, when I pay the 100,000, the day I start comparing myself with my neighbor that just got another stuff, maybe another car, a new shirt, a new phone, and I start comparing, it forces me to go back to go and borrow. So what comparison does is that comparison sends us back to poverty. These three things, you must avoid it. You must avoid bitterness, you must avoid strife, you must avoid comparison. It is not every time that you can travel. It is because your neighbor travels does not mean you should travel. Maybe you are not worth it yet. It is not every car that you can drive. Am I saying you should not dream? Dream. But I'm saying be real to yourself. You should know where you are at this time and know if this is what you should do. Don't do it out of comparison. Comparison makes us do things without thinking it through. So you must know that for you to get out of poverty, you must get rid of bitterness, of strife, and of comparison. Last, now everybody go chop breakfast. Now time go different. Because somebody is driving this car today does not mean you will not drive it tomorrow. You can even drive better. So get rid of strife, of bitterness, and of comparison. And finally, I want to drop this with you. You are not El Shaddai. You are not El Shaddai. El Shaddai is the name of God. El Shaddai is interpreted as God Almighty. You are not Almighty. You cannot solve everybody's problem. You cannot solve everybody's financial problem. Problem no dey finish. You must understand that you have to calculate and be sure if you can accommodate some people's bill. I'm not talking about personally, but people come to meet you, they need stuff, you need to help family, you need to help friends, you need to help brothers. I'm not saying don't help, don't get me wrong. I am saying you must understand that you cannot play God in people's life. Do your bit and leave the rest. I've known people sort other people's bill and have bills and they have not sought. God said that in His word. He says a man that cannot take care of his home is worse than an infidel. It's not because you have not taken care of other people's home, but your own home first. You must understand that you must earmark amounts or bills of people or spendings that you can help in giving. Not that you should not give at all, but don't play God. Don't be the one that want to sort everybody's bill. Bill no dey finish. And let me tell you a Yoruba proverb. It says the mouth does not know that he ate yesterday. So if you pay my bills today and I come tomorrow and you cannot pay it, I'm sorry, I still feel the same way about you. Three things I'm talking about today and I want you to take home. One, eradicate the spend finish syndrome. Two, you should get rid of bitterness, of strife, and of comparison. And finally, I said to you, you are not El Shaddai. Every time you want to play El Shaddai, you shall die. Thank you.